a story of love, sacrifice, and redemption. The night was heavy with silence, broken only by the faint hum of city lights beyond the window. The narrator sat alone in the dimly lit room, staring at the table before him. A sense of unease gnawed at him. Something was missing. He looked again, his heart tightening. The ring, his ring, was gone. Panic flashed through him, followed quickly by suspicion. Just then, a soft shuffle caught his ear. He bent down and, to his astonishment, saw a girl crouched beneath the table. Her white eyes glistened in the shadows, not with guilt but with fear and something deeper, an unspoken story. In that moment, the narrator understood that her sudden appearance and the missing ring were not accidents. They were connected. And through her, he would be forced to confront the truth about his own heart, his true love. He closed his eyes, recalling the lies he had told. Lies about love. Once, in a moment of pride and vanity, he had claimed a ring of eternal devotion, a band of white platinum gold with a diamond set upon it. To another man, he had pretended it meant something noble, something eternal. Yet within him, the glow of love had long since died. In its place remained only emptiness and a coldness that he could not shake. But the girl, even hidden under the table, radiated something different. Her presence carried warmth. It unsettled him, as though her kindness was a mirror exposing his hollowness. When he asked why she was there, she answered with disarming honesty. She had no home, no parents, no money. She was used to eating scraps, to sleeping on benches beneath the open sky. Her words were plain, yet her eyes burned with strength. She told him to give the ring, his ring, the symbol of love he no longer believed in, to the woman he truly loved. He had laughed bitterly at the irony of it. How could he give something he did not believe in? How could he search for something he no longer trusted? Still, she insisted. She told him she would share a meal with him, not outside on a bench, but properly, with dignity. He hesitated. He feared the stares of others, the disgust in their eyes if they saw him with her. She resisted his cowardice, refusing to shrink back into the shadows that life had already forced upon her. And then, in a moment that surprised even himself, he chose differently. Instead of forcing her into a place where she did not belong, he brought the experience to her. There, beneath the quiet sky and the watchful gaze of strangers, he laid out the food as though the streets themselves could be their restaurant. The passers-by stared, but their attention only underscored the tenderness of the scene. For the first time in years, his heart stirred with something unfamiliar, care. Over time, he learned her story. She had no wealth, no home, and no family to shield her. Yet she had survived, though survival demanded its price. With shame, she confessed her past. She would kiss men, trick them with affection, and then slip away with their rings, trinkets to be sold for bread. It was a brutal trade, but hunger had left her with little choice. Still, when she looked at him, her eyes filled with something pure. With him, she said, it was different. With him, she wanted to change. His heart swelled with conflicting emotions, pity, anger, hope, and an unfamiliar warmth that grew into love. Against the warnings of those around him, he could not turn away. She had awakened something within him, something long buried. One evening, with trembling hands, she revealed a final act of sacrifice. She had cut her long, beautiful hair, her last possession of pride, and sold it to buy the ring she now held in her hand. The very ring he had once lied about, she now offered back to him, a token not of deceit but of redemption. Tears welled in her eyes as she confessed her hatred for the woman she had been, and her desperate desire to be someone new. He could barely speak. Her sacrifice shattered the last walls of his cold heart. In her brokenness, she had given him something priceless, the chance to love again. But fate is cruel. Before their vows could be spoken, a harsh voice broke through the crowd. Police officers rushed forward, accusing the girl of stealing a ring. Shock rippled through the bystanders. The girl cried out, protesting her innocence, but her words fell against the hard armor of suspicion. The officers seized her, dragging her away as she wept. The narrator's blood surged with anger. He stood before them, his voice firm, declaring that the ring was his, that she was not a thief but his fiancée. The crowd gasped. The officers hesitated. Proof was demanded, and he provided it, a recording, evidence of the ring's origin, and the testimony of his own heart. At last, doubt gave way to truth, and the officers released her. The tension dissolved, though the memory of her tears remained etched in his soul. Afterward, he brought her new clothes, and with gentle hands, he invited her to dine with him, not on a bench, not in hiding, but openly, with dignity. They entered the restaurant together, no longer ashamed, no longer divided by the walls of society. She smiled, timid at first, but with growing light in her eyes. He smiled too, not with arrogance or deceit, but with the warmth of a man reborn. And as the night unfolded, he reflected on the strangeness of life. How easily it can twist and turn, leaving us lost in the cold. Yet sometimes, with a single turn, we find the very thing we need. Love had not been lost forever. It had only been waiting, hidden under a table, disguised in hardship, asking only to be seen. Epilogue. The narrator once believed love was a lie, a trick of symbols and empty promises. The girl once believed survival required deceit and theft. But together, through honesty, sacrifice, and courage, they discovered love's truest form, not a ring of gold, but the willingness to forgive, to protect, and to begin anew. For love is not found where the world expects it. Sometimes, it hides in the most unlikely places, waiting for us to cast aside pride and fear. And when we finally see it, when we finally dare to embrace it, love transforms us, redeeming not only the heart but the soul. Life may turn upside down. Rings may be lost, hearts may grow cold, and hope may falter. But true love, unexpected, undeserved, and undeniable, can always be just around the corner.